I've analyzed images used on advertising billboards in both the urban and suburban regions. However, I have noticed that the same image is shown for both categories of regions. The image shows parents happily talking with the police with children having a balloon fight on a green lawn. Having the same image for both kinds of regions is not proper, so I must provide a visual analysis and show two new and different images that should be shown in the urban and suburban regions. Before I start my analysis, I will show the two new images. The urban image shows an officer interacting with a woman after presumably a traffic accident, and the suburban image shows a police officer and a bunch of children smiling together while posing for a picture. The first subject of discussion is why the images should be different due to cultural familiarity. First, according to the Module 2 lecture, the urban area will have a population with lower income and higher crime rates compared to a suburban area that is likely wealthier. The urban area will also likely have more racial diversity within its population, so it is important that the images accurately reflect on how the area looks. The original image of the parents, officer, and children having a balloon fight makes the region look somewhat peaceful and pretty, and while crime can happen in the suburbs, the urban population will have a harder time identifying with that image. The urban image that I gave shows not only a Hispanic officer, which is more likely to give cultural familiarity to an urban resident than a suburban, but also an officer helping a woman after presumably a traffic accident. The suburbs are more likely to be a relaxed region, so the officer having a picture with a bunch of children shows a calmer feeling and will bring more cultural familiarity to the suburban region as it is more peaceful compared to the suburban image. Now I must go over how viewers will connect with the new images in a cognitive manner. Images have an ability to create emotions with a psychological response within the viewer when he or she sees it. According to the Module 2 lesson notes, cognitive perception can be affected by memories, preconceived expectations, and personal experiences. For example, urban viewers will look at the image of the woman outside her car, and because they live in an urban neighborhood, they may relate to being in a situation like an accident or a time when they got hurt due to a lack of safety. However, suburban residents may already have the expectation of feeling safe in their neighborhood because they may not hear as much about accidents or similar situations to that around their neighborhood. The image of the officer and children may create a cognitive link with the viewer's expectations, as the viewer may think that the image shows that the law enforcement will try to live up to his or her expectations. When it comes to both images, there is some positive emotional emotional engagement for both categories of regions, but there are different reasons for the positive emotional engagement from the different images. In the urban photo, the urban resident will recognize that a woman has been hurt in a traffic accident by a car behind her and seems traumatized after. However, the police is interacting with her, and that can be positive to the image viewer, as it looks like the officer is asking if the woman is alright and preparing to handle the situation. This will get the image viewer to believe that law enforcers will work to make sure the urban residents are taken care of from unsafe situations. The suburban image has a different situation, as the police officer is posing for a photo with a bunch of smiling kids instead of handling a traumatizing situation for somebody else. While crime can still happen in suburban regions, people who live in these regions can still get positive emotional engagement because the police officer's smile implies that he enjoys doing his job of providing safety for the neighborhood, and the smiling kids show that they have trust in the law enforcement. To put it shortly, the main difference of what image viewers will get of these images is that the suburban viewers will get a feeling that they are in a safe neighborhood, and the urban images reinforces to the viewers that dangerous situations do happen, but at least they will be dealt with. Finally, I will discuss semiotic codes with the images. According to a webpage by Richard Nordquist, semiotics is the study of signs and symbols that are used as a system of communication. First, there can be codes that make implications to what happened during the time of the image or how people within an image are feeling. For example, the urban image implies that the woman got rear-ended in a traffic accident and is experiencing shock or trauma. In the suburban image, the children smiling with the officer in the photo implies that they feel safe with the law enforcement that they have. There are also some codes where some cultures outside of the area will not understand either the meaning of the image or how they are supposed to connect with it. The urbans may not fully understand the suburban image because since suburban areas may have relatively lower crime rates, they may not get that the suburban residents may not need as much proof to believe that they are going to be protected, since the suburban regions do not need as much work to have the lower crime rate it has.